Gigabyte.
So if you guys want to keep tuning in to keep up with that, I don't blame you, because it's going to be a lot of fun.
I think this game should be fun too.
It will.
I think I predict an Ogre Magi coming out here.
Next Assassin.
Well, yeah, on the same team for the burst potential.
And then when you pick the Alchemist, there's no way out.
Oh my gosh, we did it.
We are the champions of the world. There you go. We're in. Captain's mode finally getting underway. Now we're going to have
Wouldn't
Epic
it be
with the
funny if it was all pick or something?
That would be amazing, actually. RD, good luck.
Just
and
play through.
Yeah. And Templar Assassin, actually the very first ban out, like you were mentioning, a good idea to do for Epic. So luckily they really appreciate how strong the hero has shown herself to be lately. So don't have to worry about that at all. But of course, that leaves a lot of other big heroes available to enter the pool.
Yep. Tell me why. Just too strong on her. He needs a nerf, and that's one way to do it. Pull her out of the game. And I don't even know if Naga's going to get banned this time. It was funny to see her last game. I was like, oh boy, finally, we can start seeing her use and see one of those combinations. But after she got picked up, the Enigma and Rubik were right away taken. And the Tidehunter was already banned out at that point. So they really had no one to combo it up with. And when you don't have that combo, she's really actually not that great with the ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, it can be potentially very useful, but like you even pointed out a couple times in the last game, they just were a little uncoordinated. There were one or two times where some of their spells didn't quite work out the way they wanted to because of that Naga Siren ultimate, and so in a lot of situations it actually became more of a hindrance than any sort of help. You can see she gets banned out in this game. Gizmo are going ahead and ban her out for the second ban, and Lycanthrope as well will join the ban pool.
Indeed. So going back to basics here, probably if it does follow suit, Nature's Prophet will see a ban out, and then maybe Rubik, or it depends. Rubik, if Rubik doesn't get banned, definitely gets picked up. So I'll have to see. Lone Druid actually going to be the one to get banned out here, and after watching last game, I can definitely understand why. Amazing pusher.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting to see him get banned out. I mean, me personally, I'm like, there's so many other options. I feel like you could find ways to get around that Lone Druid, but, I mean, like you said, last game was just so effective. It's easy to see that they would want to try and get rid of a hero that has that much potential.
Yeah, it's funny also to see the different ways he's built. Like, in the European-American scene, you'll see a Radiance almost every game put up there. Get that farm, go into the late game. There's also a lot of late-game carries, though. I look in these games, I don't really see late game ever the idea behind a lineup. They always try to put pressure, push, just do a lot of work early in the mid game, and it's worked out a lot in his favor. Morphling going to actually be the ban, leaving Nature's Prophet and Rubik both on the board, and Invoker. So a lot of good first options here for Epic.
Yeah, and I mean Chen as well, if you want to talk about some of those stronger junglers too. Just plenty of heroes. Invoker, there you go, like you were pointing out, he's going to be picked up right away. I think I've seen him played Quas Wex every time so far. And Anti-Mage, actually the very first pick by Gizmo. They're going to follow that up with a Rubik. Looks like we're in it for the long haul.
Nope, they're going to go with new strategies. It's going to be like Maelstrom Anti-Mage or something. Just push heavy.
Battle Fury Maelstrom.
That would be sick pushing.
It would.
Maelstrom might be overkill, but, it's okay. Yeah, so this is the first Anti-Mage I've seen in a game, and I'm not terribly upset about it since it has been so long. He's still obviously a great hero. Hasn't been used, like I said, hasn't been even banned that much, especially in this qualifier compared to the last one, but I think a solid pick, and I'm really glad to see that Rubik picked up as well. So even if they get like Enigma or Tide or anyone, Rubik has that chance to steal it and use it against them.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is you have to just consider what this does for the draft now, seeing Anti-Mage so early. Epic may have had this game plan that was all about maybe pushing really early or having these team fights, and now they have to be concerned, what happens, guys? Do we pick a team that's going to be so strong that it just is able to beat down the front door, is able to get us a win before Anti-Mage comes to strength, or now do we have to consider picking up someone who can fight him? Do we go for maybe a Faceless or something, a Spectre perhaps, a carry of our own that might be able to contest it? They are going to go for some of these heroes, though, that do look like to be counters to the Anti-Mage. The Shadow Demon, able to disrupt out that Anti-Mage, will burn his own mana there, so maybe they're just going to look to try and deal with him through spells and early aggression.
Yeah, I'm predicting a China build anti-mage here with maybe one or no points in that mana burn, get a couple in blink, maybe one or two in the magic protection, and just get some stats. Farm up the Battle Fury, carry your team in the late game. But the other team, you look at them, they got Brew now, and Brew plus Invoker mid-game is scary strong. And if they keep building like a mid-game team, anti-mage obviously a bit weak in that department, so they might get run over if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a ton of control right now, and that's something that they can definitely use against the anti-mage. They can just blow him up in a tornado. Like I just mentioned, they can look to disrupt him out, put the Soul Catcher up on him, so he just takes a ton of damage. If the Invoker does go Quas Wex, you're going to have the EMP, the Deafening Blast, the Tornado. There's a lot of different ways to try and deal with that anti-mage, even if he does jump into fights in the late game. So yeah, I think maybe Epic are really trying to look for that mid-game strategy to try and beat him out before he's able to come to strength.
Yeah, so let's see into the third. It's going to be Leshrac, and I think that's honestly a pretty solid choice there. Obviously going to help them out quite a bit. You know, has a good stun, some good pushing potential too, and just AoE damage all around. A nice support, and I think, yeah, definitely going to help out the Anti-Mage and Rubik a lot.
Certainly, I mean, just it's going to be really nice just to have that AoE stun. Now moving into the bans again. We still have Tidehunter available. It looks like they're going to ban out the Enigma, so they're looking to limit the teamfight potential of the Gizmo squad now. Like you said, I mean, Tidehunter's still available. Might want to try and ban him out. There are definitely still some other heroes that could be pretty disruptive. Really, I think Gizmo is just going to be trying to hold off this Epic squad, and that's really, I think, where they have to put their hopes.
Yeah, no, that definitely is going to be the case, especially if these last two picks are something like push heavy. You know, Chen obviously still in the game, Venomancer still in the game. Could go something like that and just really knock on their door. Anti-Mage, when Anti-Mage that's pressured, is not one that gets a Battle Fury quickly. He might have to go for like a Vanguard instead, and that puts him back even farther. So I'll have to see how they do. Tide actually being banned, so really does not want the other team to have it, and they do have the first pick of the next phase, so you know they have to choose their bans wisely here.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely true, and I mean, really, I think Epic can be pretty happy with what they have now as far as their team fight goes. I mean, really, they don't have to be so focused on the big heroes like that Enigma, like that Tidehunter. I think they can be okay picking up, you know, just the other fantastic heroes like a Windrunner. You know, some of these other heroes that just maybe do smaller crowd control than the, you know, huge AoEs that we get out of other heroes like Tidehunter and Enigma.
Yeah, one of those would really wrap it all together for them. Sand King actually another one. So yeah, so far 3 huge team fight heroes taken out of the game. Will the fourth one be taken out? Quap, I guess? I don't know at this point.
Well, I mean, you know, I wouldn't take out the Quap. Just, I mean, they could run her in an off lane, but right now you have that Invoker. You can assume he's probably going to take that middle lane unless they want to try and run Brewmaster with some support middle, ensure that he can get some farm, get that Blink Dagger up really quickly, play really aggressively, making fights happen. But I mean, I'm really liking the way Epic are running this draft. They realize you're going to be fighting us 4v5, so you know we just got to take out all these heroes that are going to be able to hold us off at that point.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see how they run with it. I haven't actually seen a Bounty Hunter yet, which is kind of interesting because he was picked a decent amount, at least by one team, I guess it was, over and over. But yeah, no Bounty Hunters yet. It was always a pretty decent side lane solo, to be honest. And actually, I mean, I doubt it. We'll see it here. But if Epic ran a Clinks in the off lane, get that Orchid up against Anti-Mage, could be something pretty interesting to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, that would also give them a lot of push potential, too. Just those Searing Arrows able to do a ton of damage to the towers. The Strafe just gives him so much attack speed. And he would actually potentially be able to just auto-attack down that Anti-Mage in the later parts of the game, just because he can hit so hard once he gets fed.
Yeah, probably won't happen. Like I said, it was a cool idea to think about, but yeah, I don't foresee it. Actually, Broodmother could be picked up here by Epic, and I think that would be a solid offlane choice. You know, she could also get that Orchid if she so desired, help the push lane throughout the whole game, and be a decent force in the late game as well.
Yeah, I mean, I actually kind of really like that. Juggernaut is going to get picked up. I am way too excited about that. Always love seeing him the Juggernaut. And, you know, this is, again, a thing where, okay, you're going to be hero down, so we already have some sort of advantage. And now, actually, Broodmother are going to be picked up by Gizmo. This is going to be really interesting. They're now going to have 2 heroes that are pretty much going to have to commit to not being in a team fight, whereas Epic is just going all the way. 5 heroes are going to roll around as a ball, And I guess Gizmo is just hoping that they can get the advantages in the other lanes. They're going to pick up Earthshaker now. Epic going to add that to their arsenal, get that huge ultimate. The Fissure gives them a lot more crowd control and a lot more just ways of controlling the battlefield as well. This is going to be a really interesting game out of Gizmo. They're going to have to hope that Broodmother is able to get such a great start in the early parts of the game that she can push faster than Epic can look to destroy the Gizmo squad.
I mean, I've casted two morning Gizmo games this morning. They've had Broodmother in both, in the side lane solo. Both games, she really had a pretty slow start. You know, she was against either a duo or a tri lane, and you know she was having trouble. They had sentries, they kept her out, but eventually she got to come back in the lane, get some farm, and now with the Shadow Shaman, looking for a little CC and wards, that is going to be helpful for turtling as well, really helpful, which they desperately need against this push lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of forgot all about the Shadow Shaman. I was thinking that Gizmo might want to be interested in picking up that Earthshaker just so that they have one of those really strong turtling heroes, but man, Shadow Shaman, so much crowd control. He really is, I think, on par with, you know, the Tide Hunters and the Sand Kings in just how much AoE damage he's able to do and then just how much crowd control he can provide for a team. Really great to see him being picked up, and he is actually going to be played by Kenryo this game. Tell me why is going to go ahead and take the Anti-Mage. We have Gizmo on Leshrac because they wanted to make it really easy on us. We are going to have Glories on the Rubik in the middle lane, and then at the top lane, we are going to have JXJ taking that Broodmother.
Indeed. Meantime, Epic, we're going to have Harf on their Shaker. It's almost like a dog name. Harf! Yeah, I don't know. Fizz on the Juggernaut. Hope's going to be on the Shadow Demon. The Way on Invoker, and then Apple. See, first there was a guy named Lunch. Now there's a guy named Apple. I am starving. So this is unfortunate for me.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I did get to eat an apple already.
It does not make me feel better.
You know, I thought there was some sort of kinship between casters where I might be able to provide you sustenance if I were to eat something. I gave it a try, you know? But
Indeed.
Unfortunately not going to work out. And it actually looks like, ooh, Leshrac going to have to be pretty careful. He's got this fantastic high ground, so he's going to see what's going to be happening here. We'll watch that Observer Ward go down. They actually see Leshrac as well. They're going to back off everybody. Actually, some lines drawn. They might want to try and press this here in the top lane, see if they can get an early kill on Juggernaut. Everybody's sitting around. You can see Leshrac, he's just stomping around. He's thinking about raising those hoofs. He wants to get a split earth. Are they going to be interested in doing it? They might actually just look to try and counter ward this, seeing that it got placed.
Yep. See, it was great that he had that high ground to see that ward placed, and you know, obviously already giving them a bit of a side advantage, and they know they're against this tri-lane. You know, it's going to be this Earthshaker, Shadow Demon, Juggernaut. That is a scary one to be up against. But they also have their own tri-lane here, Rubik Lesh and Anti-Mage. Of course, Anti-Mage not providing a lot for it, but at least he can blink away to safety if he so needs to. And they have the Telekinesis and Split Earth to help get away as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really going to be a question of how destructive can Earthshaker be down here. How much is he able to actually keep somebody from getting back to safety? Is he going to be able to create those obstacles on the map to make it difficult for support heroes to run away so that they can pick up some early kills on that Juggernaut? In the middle lane, we're actually going to have Invoker versus the Shadow Shaman, so we get to see him mid. And in the top lane, it's going to be Brewmaster versus that Broodmother. Battle of the Bees. It's going to be interesting to see how that actually works out. I mean, clearly, Broodmother's going to be able to get some farm, but Brewmaster might be able to get that right back with some Thunderclaps on some Spiderlings.
Wow. They counter-warded both wards that Epic used already in bottom lane. So already, there's no vision in this jungle. And that's going to be really helpful for these two people to either pull or help come set a gank maybe if they need to. I mean, that's just really good advantage, a good heads up. I'm actually almost surprised if they were going to offensive tri-lane that they didn't try to even ward this spawn right here. You know, I figured that would have been helpful to make sure they can't keep the lane at the tower and they could be aggressive like they want to be here. Telekinesis on Juggernaut. Gonna stun the other two heroes. Oh no, but that's a disruption. He's trapped! He's very trapped in the trees! There's the fissure, the spin, that's a dead Rubik. Very good first blood. That disruption MVP for sure. Actually, now Anti-Mage in a bit of trouble. Gonna have to blink back, but what a great setup.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even consider that. Just the ability for Shadow Demon to be able to lock people in too with the disruption. I mean, there you saw it right there. That's how this tri-lane is really going to be able to get their kills. They have so much damage early, and they have so many ways to just keep someone in place. They're going to let Juggernaut just spin all over people.
Indeed. Actually, Anti-Mage already going that first point mana break. So not afraid of draining his own mana, or his allies' mana, I guess. But we'll have to see if he keeps putting points, or now he might start going stats, or magic resist. You know, he has plenty of options, of course. Or maybe go with the one of each build, which I've seen happen on a couple heroes now, where they just keep it even across the board. You never know.
There you go. You know, you don't want to leave any spells out. They're all, you know, fantastic in their own individual way. Meanwhile, actually, I just want to take a look at the last hits and denies, and I mean, sure enough, it's Brewmaster and Broodmother leading the way, and of course, like I was saying, Brewmaster going to have a little bit of an advantage as far as the numbers go, because he is going to be able to pick up a lot of these Spiderlings once they start to mass up. But, I mean, here we go. I mean, Broodmother is going to have that farm, like we were talking about, is going to have that ability to perhaps push really fast.
Yep, you were asking for it, and they get it. Yeah, giving him that farm, giving him the option to farm, and going with his aggressive trialing, at least they did get a kill, which is nice to have. But, you know, Anti-Mage is going to be really difficult for them to kill, so they're not really shutting him down his farm. You know, he's got plenty of CS, in fact, 10 more than this Juggernaut already. And finally, the lane's starting to go in their favor a little bit, but, yeah, the Radiant's having a decent time here, if not winning at bottom.
Yeah, I mean, which is pretty interesting. Not really what I would expect, but, you know, I guess all this running around trying to look for the kills is maybe costing Juggernaut a little bit of farm. He now has a little bit of an ability to get some kills here, but it's almost kind of interesting. I mean, this Gizmo, them pulling, means that they're going to be able to keep the creeps back at the tower, but it also means that Epic knows exactly where they are, and here you go again. Earthshaker wants to come over. It looks like Juggernaut actually going to catch a Split Earth. They might just break apart now. They may not want to contest this. And this whole time that they're running around, considering going in on the supports, they just have Anti-Mage here, last hitting and denying.
This is what their game plan should be on Gizmo. Don't go here in the jungle. Don't ever go. That's a lot of circles. But I have to emphasize how important that is. Because obviously, Juggernaut getting caught. Good spin. Disruption actually making him take less damage, if anything. It's a little unfortunate timing, but, you know, a little mana drain comes out and everyone will stay alive.
Yeah, and, you know, Juggernaut, he has plenty of healing on him, and then he also has a point into that healing ward, so he's going to be able to heal himself up just fine. He'll be able to stay in this lane. He is actually going to pop the health potion, as well as the Tango, actually, but don't worry, Leshrac realizes what's going on, going to run over and actually stop that potion from going up on him, just wasting a little bit of that Juggernaut money.
Exactly, and you know, it'll be interesting to see if he copies Vorst and goes like that Soul Ring really quick to keep the push alive. But it's a tri-lane. He's not getting a lot of levels. You know, he's not getting high Blade Fairy or Healing Ward. You know, he's only level 3, so it might not be the most effective push, especially if the heroes like Shadow Demon and Earthshaker, they're not push heroes. You know, they're really good at setting up kills, but that's what their duty is. So without maybe the Invoker or Brewmaster, they're not going to really be able to do much to this lane.
And actually, you can see in the top lane, actually, Broodmother just getting in even behind the tower, looking to do some damage to Brewmaster, but he's going to potion back up, and he was just able to eat a whole bunch of Spiderlings. So he's actually now the highest farmed in the game, 36 kills for him, with Broodmother again just behind. But then look how high the Anti-Mage is compared to the Juggernaut, more than twice his kills. This is really not working out in the Epic's favor.
Bottom. Oh, it's just Disruption and Soul Catcher on the track, but Anti-Mage is scaring them off. He's manning up, and he's level 5. See, because of all the pulling and stuff, he's a good high level. Compared to the tri-lane, 3, 2, and 3. Broodmother does get the kill, with the help of Shadow Shaman, by the way. Sorry for missing the kill. It happens. But now they're going to take, or go for top at least. The wards are up if they want to push. And they have the Spiderlings. If they don't drop the wards here, I'd actually be pretty surprised.
Well, they might not want to waste it. I mean, like you were saying, they have the Spiderlings here. There's nobody that's going to try and contest them. They can just take down. Look, Broodmother looking to even run some of the Spiderlings ahead in case the creeps were to get there, but they don't even need it. They can keep this push going, and Kenryo now, like you were saying, I mean, he still has his wards. He can look to drop them on the tier 2 tower. They're not going to leave the tri-lane to contest this. So this might be a great opportunity for Gizmo to get really far ahead.
Yeah, it's actually a very good point. Yeah, I didn't realize just how fast that tower was going to fall with all these Spiderlings, but they are a high rank and doing a lot of damage. And now this Broodmother actually getting sheeped up, and the wards, he needs a shackle though. Gonna get it. I don't think they have enough damage. He's going to be able to ulti. And actually, this is going to be the death of Broodmother. Really unfortunate for them. There goes Brewmaster ulting up. Now that Shadow Shaman's in a lot of trouble, and he's going to die too. So a bit too much aggression.
No, I gotta say, I really like the way that Earthshaker played that too. They got the one kill. He even waited to drop the fissure, wanted to make sure that he was able to give his buddy that kill, wanted to try and get the money on the Brewmaster. And then once he realized he had the other hero low, he just walked around through the trees, wanted to ensure that they were actually going to be able to get that kill. But in the bottom lane, actually, Shadow Demon taking a lot of damage. He is going to drop Juggernaut spinning around trying to get himself out, but Leshrac actually running behind the tower. He has that Edict up, but there's so many creeps splitting the damage, it's not going to do anything, and now Juggernaut has potential to chase him down, but he's not going to take it. He is going to go ahead, run back, just get himself back in the lane for more farm, more experience.
It's a pity that Invoker, they were not communicating that. They should have said, hey, Leshrac is diving, running towards mid. Invoker was mid just farming. If he came around with that tornado, could have been a pretty easy pickoff. Leshrac only had 180 health. Actually still could be. He's singing this river. He's spotted out now. Use the cold snap. This Splitwith will land. Oh, the bad timing. The telekinesis there too. The tornado does come out. Antimage. He's going to blink. One more hit might possibly do it. The spin from Juggernaut. Will Leshrac die to this? One more hit. He isn't down yet. 17. He's regenerating very slowly. I don't think Jug can catch him. He can't. Wow. Jug cannot get the kill. Now on his back burner. Trying to turn it around. Oh, the telekinesis. The fissure misses. Will Jug go down for this? Wow, Leshrac dying to neutrals. Very good play. It looks like that Juggernaut will eventually go down, and it's going to be just a 1-for-1, but getting the advantage for sure, the kill on the Jug.
Yeah, I mean, Anti-Mage kills the Juggernaut. I mean, that's exactly what Gizmo would like to have. I mean, just getting more money on the Anti-Mage and holding down the Juggernaut. It's really going to be between that Juggernaut and that Brewmaster in the late game. We're actually going to have some TPs down bottom. Looks like Earthshaker might be in trouble. He does get cheaped up. Is he going to get shackled now? They're trying to chase him into the trees. He fissures, locking several of them out. Will he be able to get out? He doesn't have any mana to TP, so he has to just punch Kenryo in the face and hope for the best. The ward's actually going to be dropped. They want to ensure they get this kill, and they want to try and see if they can fend off the rest of the Epic team. A lot of damage being dropped, though, in behind those wards. Unfortunately, locking everybody in, but they're still going to try and see if they can get the Invoker. Are they going to be able to? That's the question. The Tornado knocking everybody up. That's going to dissuade Gizmo from continuing, and now Glorious and Kenryo just have to wait it out. Actually, it's just Glorious now trapped in the trees yet again.
Wow. Well, those ward placement was a bit interesting. Poor Glorious. He's got nowhere to go. And actually, in the meantime, Leshrac getting annihilated by this Blade Flurry. It is going to be his death for sure. Antimage blinking in, wants to finish him off. Not able to, so close, but he is actually like maxing out the mana break. So, does not care that he's against Shadow Demon, just wants to drain everyone else's mana.
Yeah, I mean, it is very interesting, but I mean, we're seeing he actually is getting the opportunity to fight a lot. So, I mean, it is draining a lot of damage. He hasn't had too much trouble with the Shadow Demon, interestingly enough. But, yeah, man, I'm just... Trees, I think, the MVP of this game so far.
They really have been. What a spectacular job getting in the way of heroes, you know, blocking paths. Can't ask for much more from a tree. But,
no, but I really did like that Shadow Shaman ward placement. I mean, unfortunately, it did stop the Rubik from being very effective there, but, I mean, cut off a lot of dire heroes are looking to try and get in on them, and it's sort of like the Venomancer ward block. Okay, maybe a little bit easier for the Shadow Shaman because he has so many, but, I mean, a really solid play to keep the Dire team out and from getting more kills.
Yeah, it's definitely a good point. Actually, Anti-Mage now, I think he's sending over the Broadsword. Yeah, he's got that. He's only a little bit off his Battle Fury, 10 minutes in. Oh no, Leshrac! You're so caught. Did I not X marks the spot that? But it doesn't matter. The Fisher's going to miss, and he's going to escape somehow, even being in death's row right there.
Yeah, I mean, with the Soul Catcher as well, I mean, he just barely got out by the skin of his teeth. Very lucky there. But, you know, this is, again, another situation where you have a fight taking place, and Anti-Mage is just, you know, right nearby, farming away. I mean, I think this is really good play by Tell Me Why. He understands exactly when he's going to be needed. He knows when his teammates are going to survive, so he can just continue his farm and get ever closer to that Battle Fury.
Wow, Brewmaster had a good time. Actually, bottom, it's a little trade-off of hits, and Anti-Mage will definitely win that with the mana break. Going to do pretty well. Looks like top Brewmaster definitely riding the wave here. About 30 CS over this Brood. Probably a lot of those involving the spiraling kills like you were saying earlier. But still, that's some extra free money. Brewmother is going to Orchid, you can see, with a couple Sobies. But yeah, Brew's just enjoying the farm. And if he gets that blink pretty quick, he can really help out his team a lot in the next 5-10 minutes.
Shaker scouted out. Looked like he wanted to try and TP up. Maybe lend some support, but those Spiderlings right there in the web will actually...
Invoker middle getting initiated on. Oh my god, the ulti flies. The wards go down, and they pick him off mid.
That's some, again, beautiful ward placement. I mean, it's not only going to help them get that kill, it's going to also pick up the kill on the tower. It was really low, so you could argue that maybe they should have saved it to help take down this tier 2, but, I mean, don't worry, it's Leshrac. He's going to have a level 3 Diabolic Edict to try and work on this tower. But actually, they're going to have to stop because Brewmaster's going to come in, might try and drop that ultimate and chase them down. He's continuing the chase, going to run right into the wards, though. Maybe forgetting that those are up, get shackled, but it looks like the Fissure is actually going to stop that. Banished out now. It looks like Kenryo might... No, still not going to... Oh, will barely survive. Just turns around, Ether shocks the Brewmaster. Now the Tornado comes out. The EMP going to do a lot of damage to Gizmo. Leshrac on no mana now. Everybody's going to look to part ways after Brewmaster goes down.
Brew not getting his ulti off. Why did he hold on so long? He thought he could have done just a little more before using it, but that's the risk you take, especially against a Shadow Shaman. He's like the master of CC. You know, you gotta be wary of that when you're charging in there. He has those moves and obviously used them very well. Oh, the Echo Slam top from Earthshaker! Just wanted all that money. What is this Broodmother thinking? Get back, Johnny. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think really actually a good use there. Just didn't want the tier 2 to take much more damage. Lands a big move actually here. And meanwhile, in the bottom lane, trying to move in on this tower. It actually looks like Juggernaut going to get ulted on, and it's not going to affect him because of the spin, but they still have enough damage to take him out. And now they're looking to continue this attack. Going on Glorious now, taking a lot of damage. He will get blown up by the Tornado. That will give the Invoker time to catch up. Now it looks like Glorious trying to get himself denied by the Roshan. Will he get fouled?
Ah!
He does! Denied! Oh, Roshan out for blood. The lulls come out. A great play there, and Roshan is just happy to get himself a little snack.
Wow. 2 denies we've seen on Gizmo now from neutrals. That's pretty spectacular. That's something else, man. That's always great to get. No experience, no gold for the other team. Always nice to have. Broodmother almost taking the tier 2. This is all she does. This is literally all she does. She sits in this lane. She's just going to sit here until that tier 3 and top is gone. And I mean, it's going to work for them. They've obviously handled their stuff pretty well without him in bottom now. Tier 1's gone from the wards.
I'm really amazed, really, just to see how well this is working out. Broodmother now getting chased. Actually, Invoker going to come in and try and help the spin. Doing so much damage. Going to get knocked up by the Tornado, and the Juggernaut ult will help ensure that she goes down. Invoker will actually pick up that kill. Shadow Shaman actually now has enough money to pick himself up a Blink Dagger, so he's going to be so mobile. I expected this to be like fairly passive with the Anti-Mage on their team, but Gizmo everywhere trying to do their best. And, you know, I mean, that Shadow Shaman Blink Dagger, that's going to be a lot more mobility for them. They're really kind of looking for some kills here.
This pause is not for any open doors. It's just a toilet.
No
unless it's a bathroom door, and then we have to worry about it. But
yep.
But Brewmaster, I hate that they're both in the same game. Oh my goodness.
Brewmother.
The Brewmother. Do you have the in-game muted, by the way? I think I can hear myself. Well, anyways, I'll continue on, gloriously enough. He went actually to Ogre Club instead of the Blink. So, looking to rush Oghanims perhaps, but I don't know. I feel like a Blink would have maybe suited their team better to initiate properly.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're kind of going to be on the back foot now. I mean, we obviously have the Blink from the Anti-Mage, and considering how fast he's farming, now has that Battle Fury completed, he's going to be able to disappear for a while and then come back in 15 minutes, and the advantage that the Radiant is going to have for initiating is going to be just absurd. I mean, yeah, the Brewmaster Aghanim Scepter is amazing. It's nice that he's going to be able to get that, but I mean, really, I don't know how the Dire is really going to be able to catch the Radiant side off guard. I really think it's going to be the Radiant looking to make the first move in a lot of the late game engagements now.
Yeah, they're in some trouble. And actually, I love seeing this team by the Anti-Mage, by the way. No boots. Doesn't need boots. Why would he?
Yep.
He's got Blink. And I mean, just smart heads up there. He didn't even max out the mana break. Just 3 points is enough. And he's probably soon. I would have expected him by now, actually. As soon as you get that Battle Fury, normally you start just killing stacks of creeps in the jungle. But like you said, they're just being insanely aggressive in every single lane. And this is part of the reason why I just love watching Southeast Asia games, man.
Yeah, it's really been great. I mean, I think especially, you know, really the most Asian games we've seen have come out of the international, and a lot of those games were really slow paced. It was about the Roshan, and I don't know about you, but I was a little afraid that we were going to get in that situation here, but it's been amazing just watching all this aggressive play, and this is exactly when you know that you're just the whole mentality of the game is about aggression, is when you have an anti-mage moving around looking for kills. I mean, clearly, there is no holding back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, going back to that fight, the Anti-Mage ulting the Juggernaut spinning.
Yep,
why?
That's unfortunate.
Why did that happen? I mean, he was like mid-spin, so it wasn't like just at the beginning. It was like he kind of knew he was spinning, and he still ulted, so very questionable. Of course, it didn't necessarily matter too much, but yeah, definitely an interesting choice there.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of been neat to see how these ultimates have worked out. I mean, I think it's really been neat to see. I mean, you have the Brewmaster didn't get his off in time, so that spelled his death. You have Earthshaker dropping his on the Spiderlings. Like, it's just really neat to see how those have been working out. And then even in that same engagement, you had Broodmother popping the ultimate to do nothing. So, kind of neat to see how the ultimates have really played into this game. And now I'm even thinking about the Shadow Shaman and the Tree Block. It's just really neat to see how that's been working out. And crazy entertaining. I think we might have an engagement here in the top lane. Gizmo looking to go in on Epic, but he's actually just going to be able to spin on top of him. Edict doing a lot of damage, does that physical component, and Juggernaut has to be careful. Chasing, no! No! Poor Juggernaut! Oh, he didn't make it. And Leshrac playing so ballsy. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, it actually looks like Glory's getting really low. He has to be very careful. Invoker trying to go in on him. Doesn't have any spells available, so they just have to try and walk into the trees, and they're going to get the kill. Brewmaster actually going to Thunderclap and pick that one up. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, actually looks like we were going to have Earthshaker look to move in, but, I mean, it's against Anti-Mage. You're just going to be able to blink away. And, you know, Tranquil Boots, Anti-Mage.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
But we have to wait to see why, because why getting engaged on picks up the slow. The Fissure isn't going to do anything to him, just the stun. Okay, right, you and me, we do this podcast, and way back in the day, episode 5, I was discussing all the different types of heroes that might want to go for the Tranquil Boots, and I was even like, you know what, it might be a great idea for the carries, because now this means Anti-Mage super quick. He gets to move between the lanes so quickly, just aside from the blink. And this is also moving him towards other items faster. The Tranquil Boot's so cheap. It means he can work towards his mana that much faster.
Yeah, over treads though. I'm not sure. He already has
middle lane, actually, the Serpent Ward's getting dropped. They're going to be able to destroy Brewmaster. Doesn't get the ultimate off. So much CC dropped on him. The wards were dropped from that for only 1 kill, so now they can't push with it. They are still probably going to be able to push their advantage, though, because Leshrac, again, he's right here. He's going to have that Edict up in 7 seconds, the level 4 Edict. Earthshaker, in the meantime, actually able to pick up a kill in the top lane with a little bit of help from his friend. That Shadow Demon going to ensure that goes down. They will go to deny on the tower, but they're also going to lose the middle tower. Very unfortunate.
Echo Slam. Missed that one. That probably was a really good one. I'm not going to lie. Because if 2 supports could pick off her, there must have been a lot of Spiderlings walking around there. But, yeah, good pick-off. Yeah, I was going back to the Tranquil Boots. Actually, what is Juggernaut thinking here? Gonna ult! And there's the blink. So, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, very weird to see. I mean, he probably wants to keep this going on why, but, you know, a little help from his friends. He's going to be okay. And now they might want to go in here on Fies. They get the sheep. They get the, the Ether Shock. But a great Fissure is actually going to stop that. They actually want to keep going in. Brewmaster, again, might have to barely just get his ultimate off. Able to do it this time. Disruption coming out. Means that the Tornado is going to miss. EMP, though, going to land perfect, though. So Invoker picks up a kill on Rubik. Now Anti-Mage has to run away. Has this little Fire Panda trying to chase him down. And actually, it looks like they might try and keep this going. Not going to be able to, though. Everybody else gets out safe.
What a blink by Shadow Shaman. He was cycloned up, gonna get annihilated by this Dire team, and then all of a sudden, with the reactions, blinks to the top and TPs immediately. They can't catch him out, and he gets out safely. But yeah, at least Brewmaster finally getting his ult off in a team fight. You'd think by now he would have had some more of those, but at least he helped his team out in that regard. And they have just all the tornadoes over there, don't they, with those 2 heroes?
They have a bunch. I mean, I'm wondering who's going to buy Yules at this point. I would just like to point out, though, it's kind of interesting. You see, Anti-Mage has actually slowed down a little bit since he's gotten his Battle Fury. Really, he's been leaving the lane to try and help fights and stuff, and he just has picked up the Tranquil Boots and the Poor Man Shield, really. Some pinks coming out in the bottom lane. They actually want to try and go on this Earthshaker. Telekinesis is going to pull him to his death. A lot of damage coming out from that Broodmother. Pops her ultimate for that. Just going to lifesteal all that and just get a ton of damage. And, yeah, I mean, just really close as far as the kills go, but really, I think it's this Radiant team really dictating the pace of the game.
This is the first time I've seen a Shadow Shaman that gets farmed in a game. Actually, probably a Shadow Shaman in general in these qualifiers. And he's done superb. This is exactly what you need to do with the Shadow Shaman. He's pushing all the time. Those wards are usually like never on off cooldown. You know, he's always spamming them to push a lane or something. The blink to initiate on some of these heroes, to especially lock down a hero like Brewmaster, not the Brewmother. And, you know, you got to take care of it. And it's actually funny now, Anti-Mage is the one pushing top instead of the Broodmother, who's now pushing bottom. So they're just, either way, they're split pushing, and they can do it so easily with these heroes and items.
Yeah, I mean, doing a fantastic job. Even getting up on the tier 3, doesn't care. He feels completely safe up here. Is going to blink away. I mean, realizes that he might be safe, but actually now he might fall for it. The ultimate drop by Juggernaut going to do a ton of damage, and that's going to ensure they get him picked off. I mean, tell me, why would you get up on that tier 3 tower?
Okay, that's enough of that joke.
Okay.
We've killed that one, I think, for now.
Gotta go for it when it's there, man.
I guess I understand, but yeah, that was way too aggressive. He's been so full of himself. I mean, I'm looking at his record. That's his first death.
They're trying to go for JXJ. Sorry to cut you off there. They do have the wards. They are going to be able to see him, but he's so fast. He has that line of webs up that bottom lane, so he's going to get away safely.
I was going to say something about X-Men here, about Juggernaut, webs.
Speaking of Juggernaut, getting taken down now, so much crowd control. Rubik and Shadow Shaman popping a haste here, and they just keep him held down. And actually, yeah, I mean, just so much mobility. Again, that telekinesis even now, too. I mean, just able to put people in worse positions. In the meantime, looks like the bottom lane, Gizmo going to be popping that Diabolic Edict, going to take down that tower, but will he actually fall for it? Now Apple coming in, gets the Thunderclap. They're just going to be able to chase him down. Cold Snap is going to ensure that they get one kill there on that Leshrac, so they're at least able to make him pay for it a little bit.
Indeed. Yasha's up on Manti Mage. He's going to go for that Manta. Keep the pushing up. That's exactly what their goal is. What did he steal? A Fissure. That's a nice spell to have for a team fight. I remember the last Rubik I saw stole Brewmaster's ult twice. It was ridiculous. Like, if a Brewmaster doesn't use a spell right after, he's really putting his team in harm's way. You know, allowing Rubik to use that ult is ridiculous, especially if he has Noggin's late game. So you have to be wary. Antimage, dude, come on, thank you. I'm like, I know you can blink, but you're. Oh no, he's sticking around. Is Invoker gonna catch him here? Probably not.
I just am like so amazed now at just the amount of mobility that this anti-mage has. We've talked about the Tranquil Boots already. Obviously has the blink, and now has Yasha, so he just has so much movement speed. He really does have the potential to be able to get his farm out of control. He is now really just starting to run around in the jungle and just take full advantage of his mobility, up to 1,300 gold now. Not too far away from that ultimate orb, just bouncing back between the jungle and the lane, getting a ton of farm, and you can see it's starting to pay off. He's now 10 creep score ahead of the next closest person, and that gap is only going to get bigger as this game goes on.
Yeah, look at that net worth graph. 9,900 gold for Anti-Mage net worth. The highest Dire Invoker at 5,700. I mean, that's like a 4,000 gold difference. I mean, that's a lot of items. And, you know, at this point, there's no tier 1s down. This is exactly how Gizmo loves to play. They keep the pressure up all game, lose like no towers, and they just keep snowballing until eventually there's not much Dire can do because they're just so far behind.
You want to talk about snowballing? Let's take a look at that gold graph. 14,000 advantage for the Radiant. They've never really been at a disadvantage. And if you want to go ahead and take a look at the XP graph, not as dramatic, but still the same story. They haven't ever really been behind this game.
No, absolutely. Except for kills. That's the only statistic they have been behind in. But just barely. And of course that makes like little to no difference. And I'm actually looking at who's getting all the kills. Invoker is a lot, and it's actually pretty split even on the Radiant side, so everyone's getting a little bit of their share. Leshrac actually getting this Staff of Wizardry makes me think he's going to go some kind of Force Staff, maybe against the Juggernaut spin, or over that Fissure, you know, so you can move around a lot. Either way, pretty good pickup.
Yeah, I mean...
top.
What's going on top? Oh, it looks like Juggernaut getting annihilated, despite the fact that Juggernaut, I think, is one of the most survivable carries, and the fact that he can go spell immune, he can pop that ultimate, so he can't be targeted, just dropping a lot this game, unfortunately. We can see 3 and 5, something you never want to see on your carry. But, you know, I think that's interesting when we're talking about just the Gizmo being behind in the kills. It's so worth it, though, because you think, as far as going beyond the numbers, they're getting the towers, and that's opening up the space for Anti-Mage. They're just able to execute their strategy so much better than the Dire squad. Epic just not able to really get anything together yet. Brewmaster's still looking to build that Aghanim Scepter, something he's been working on all game, and despite the fact that he's farming pretty well, he's still away from his first big item, and you can see the Tornado is going to actually stop any kind of a kill there on the Brewmaster. Leshrac taking so much damage. They do have that Urn up, and they are going to pop a charge just to get him back up and into the fight so that they can move in on this Roshan.
I lied, Leshrac went Yules. That is one of the first Yules I've seen on Leshrac in a long time. But wanting to CC a hero like Jug or Brewmaster could be really helpful. Dire Courier picked up on the way to the secret shop. That's gotta hurt. I wonder who that was even for. But yeah, that is never a good sign. So even that much more of an advantage, like you said, gonna take out this Roshan Anti-Mage with an Aegis on top of his Manta. Oh god, he's gonna be scary.
Yeah, we've seen a couple hiccups in Gizmo's individual play as far as mechanics go, but I mean they're just executing their strategy flawlessly, and actually now Anti-Mage gonna pop that mana. He's gonna try and go in here, burning a lot of mana, but getting held in place. He's gonna pop right there. There goes the Aegis. Apple has to be careful. He's actually gonna fall by the looks of it. Juggernaut ulting in, doing a ton of damage. Echo Slam is gonna cause 1 to fall, 2 to fall, and they want to try and keep this going, but Anti-Mage pops right back into the fight with that Aegis. Ult 1 does a ton of damage. Gonna look to try and get a kill on this Earthshaker. Definitely gonna get that. In the meantime, Shadow Shaman gonna get away just fine as well. Wow, just tremendous fight there. Just showing you how useful Aegis can be. Saves Anti-Mage, gets him right back in the fight, and causes another 2 kills for the Radiant team.
I think his next time should be a Black King bar. I'm not exactly sure, but I think that would be pretty helpful in this game.
Might be pretty good. That might be a pretty good choice. I mean, I'm actually interested in, we're talking about the Yule Scepters. Invoker going for one as well. I don't know if we mentioned that yet. Getting pretty close to it, but I mean, at this point, how much is a Yule's going to do? They're looking to just get any crowd control they can, but, they're basically going to save someone from taking damage when they Yules these targets, and, I mean, it's not one hero that's going out of control. I mean, Anti-Mage doing just fine, so is the Broodmother, and they're just executing so well now, just pushing down the towers now. Tier 3 going to get really low. Tell me why going to blink away. They are actually going to claim the one in the bottom lane, so they're not able to claim any Raxes because they split up there, but I mean, just doing a ton of damage to buildings all around is definitely a good decision.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting they split push. I mean, yeah, they got 1 tier 3 down, and they're going to get this one too, so 2 tier 3 towers down is good, I guess, but maybe they could have had a melee barracks instead of a tier 3. I mean, which one do you think is more important? Oh, God, I think bottom. It's so dangerous. A fissure versus fissure! And neither hits anyone, so that's unfortunate. But what do you think is more important, the two tier 3s or maybe a melee barracks?
I mean, I think maybe in a standard game, if it was a lot closer, I think you would definitely want the melee racks, but I don't think Gizmo are concerned, I mean, you can just see, again, just how aggressively the Anti-Mage is playing. He's not afraid of much of anything at this point. He was up there pushing that tier 3 tower when he knew that Epic was fairly close by, but he just wasn't concerned. And you can see now, actually looking to go in now, they have the shackle on that Brewmaster trying to take him out before he can get the ulti off. He definitely will be able to, though. Brewmother taking a lot of damage to the back, spinning along, getting a lot of damage onto these Radiant Heroes, and 2 of Gizmo going to get taken out, and there isn't going to be any sort of rebuttal quite yet. It looks like everybody's going to be able to get away just fine. Shadow Shaman buys back. Apple's going to try
and a distraction mid!
Oh, it has. Anti-Mage is ripping apart that middle lane, gets it just fine. It's now going to just TP to the top lane to farm.
Bottom still, they're trying to chase after Brewmaster, getting the rock down on Rubik. Can he get out of the situation? It's going to be quite a challenge. All the tornadoes flying at once. Only one's going to land, though. There's the cold snap. Rubik in over his head. He is certainly going to fall here. But actually, he's getting some backup. Leshrac landing 2 people with the Split Earth. And actually, Shadow Shaman's still here with plenty of health and mana to spare. But he doesn't know what he wants to do yet. Just using that Ether Shock and trying to help out Leshrac the best he can. If only Anti-Mage was here, he would have cleanup on all these heroes. But he's killing jungle creeps. Anti-Mage! What are you doing? Buy the TP scroll now. He's going to come mid with that, I'm sure. Oh no, getting a butterfly, excuse me. Better things to do. Leshrac, is he going to get both these heroes with his Diabolic Edict? What a back and forth this is. There comes Shadow Shaman, picking off the Invoker from behind. Now Juggernaut actually might get caught out here. There's the Hex, the Shackle to come with Anti-Mage. What a fight for Gizmo.
That was such a crazy chase, and man, they just know exactly how far to push it. Everybody gets out safely. Yeah, I mean, it would have been great to have Anti-Mage there earlier, sure, but I mean, still able to do just fine. A great Fissure is actually going to stop one of the Radiant Heroes, but not the one they need to stop. Anti-Mage is just going to farm the little buildings in there, the fodder buildings, before going down to the bottom lane to finish it off. Dire Courier gets killed again. Gizmo driving this one home. They have had full control of this game the whole time, and they're just pressing it. They're going to be able to finish off really anything in between them and the Ancient in the mid and the bottom lane. It's just a matter of time now.
Anti-Mage. You want something. You want something bad. What the heck kind of ult was that on Shadow Demon? Pretty much a big waste. but it doesn't matter. You know, he's going to have it up in another minute. And at this point, with the B fly and everything else, he's not too scared. Kind of, just like you said, well-played game. It's been a lot closer than the first two games I casted, but only kill-wise. It's really been a slaughter. 25,000 gold advantage, 8,000 experience, but now Leshrac, I don't think he's getting out of this one too easily. Gonna get Drunken Haze, Juggernaut ult. He's done. Here comes in the middle Anti-Mage. 3 shots to Earthshaker. Now going for the Juggernaut. A good disarm there by the Deafening Blast, but now they're looking to keep going with his advantage. Anti-Mage actually might fall. He looks like he will. The blink not in time. Broodmother gonna fall too. Now Shadow Shaman. Wow, quick reaction to that blink dagger. He might get out here. It looks like that tornado though. Gonna just barely miss. He's still on the run. 5 seconds on his blink. Shadow Poison gonna miss. He doesn't have a TP scroll, so he's just gonna keep blinking farther and farther away until he gets out safely.
Man, I'm not really sure. I think you're actually Juggernaut. He is actually now on the run. Blink ahead. Anti-Mage is going to lay in the auto attack damage. Gets Yuled up by the Leshrac, and wow, that's going to make sure that Slitters lands, and that's going to ensure that Invoker will fall. You know, I want to say, I really don't even know. I don't even get to talk. There we go. Brewmaster, nope. He's now in trouble. Apple getting taken down pretty low. Dodges a couple attacks. Run! Get out of there! And now he actually wants to turn around. Maybe he was telling Anti-Mage to run. He wants to try and turn this around.
Right.
See if they can do some damage. They're going to be able to do a ton, actually. Oh, the Shadow Poison on him is not going to be enough to kill him. Now Brewmaster pops the ultimate. He wants to go on that Leshrac, but they have to wait until he comes down, and he will now. And Rubik, with the smoke, is out of sight. He might try and TP. He will, because the Brewlings don't actually count as heroes. They don't reveal people from smoke, so just great presence of mind, great game knowledge there from the Rubik as well, realizing he could do that, and that's going to ensure he gets away safely.
What is this Shadow Shaman still doing? He wants to kill this Brewmaster. He might. There's the Hex. There's a TP. There's a TP coming, but he's not going to finish it off. That was actually pretty close, but yeah, I really want to see his Anti-Mage get a Black King Bar at this point. I mean, the game's pretty much over, but if he had that, he wouldn't be draining his own mana with the damage. The Shadow Soul Catcher wouldn't be landing. Now the Broodmother getting Yules up. Right into an Invis Web, though. Oh, they had the Dust, though. But look how fast. Trying to keep up. Not going to happen.
You know, it's really weird. Like, I don't even know what to think about Gizmo from this game. It's like, they've had some really great play, like I was saying earlier, as far as executing their game plan. But when you go down to, like, some of their choices and mechanics, it's, I mean, really strange. It's like they're making poor individual decisions, but they're doing so well as a group, it doesn't matter. Now, I mean, I say that of late. I mean, they have had some amazing plays. The Shadow Shaman awards have been fantastic, like we saw earlier. You know, it's like this really mixed bag, and I think if you're any of the teams that might have to face Gizmo coming up, I mean, you can at least be happy to say they're making a lot of mistakes, and actually they're going to go in now onto Apple. He's taking a lot of damage, but he might be A-OK. Shadow Shaman popping the BKB, looking to get out of a lot of this magical damage. Actually, oh no, Broodmother gets destroyed, the ultimate being dropped by the Juggernaut.
Oh!
He's going to be able to spin all over the Leshrac, as well as the Anti-Mage, both of them eating up a lot of damage. Juggernaut just wants to get himself a kill, but he's not going to be able to. Tell me why waits to get that ultimate off this time, doesn't use it with the spin. He's actually now only the Leshrac in trouble, able to blink out, and that means Invoker's able to pick up another kill. And now actually Anti-Mage wants to come back in, but on such low health again, playing really ballsy, really aggressive, willing to put himself into poor situations, but able to get himself out this time. It's unfortunate, Epic, like, putting stuff together now.
Bit too late, might want to say it. Tier 4 towers going down, protecting this Dyer's Ancient, and the gold graph. I mean, you just have to look at that and be like, there is no coming back. You know, 28,000 gold. Okay, I look at the experience. Yeah, there's a little dip, but it's still like 9,000 experience. And Anti-Mage, if he just got a flippin' blacking bar, what's on this courier? Thank you very much. Okay, he's got his blacking bar. He's listening to my advice. Probably, and then with that, there really shouldn't be much this Dyer can do against him.
That should certainly be the last nail in the coffin, I think, for this Epic team. I mean, trying their best. I really like that they're still trying their best. They're clearly doing whatever they can to stay in this, dropping spells to try and take out the creeps, trying to save this 60 health tier 4 tower. And look, they're going to march up and try and defend this tower. Or the last lane available. I mean, I just like seeing that kind of determination. They're willing to play this out. They're not willing to give up the game.
Oh, Shadow Shaman blinking and blacking. Bar gets the shackle down. That is a dead Invoker. Now the silence on Brewmaster. He's not going to be able to ult, I don't think. Going to get caught out by the ultimate. Anti-Mage double kill. Yeah, that is GG well played. Calls the way by Epic. And that's going to allow Gizmo to continue on in the loser's bracket here. I believe it's now the loser's bracket final is what should be next on deck. But congratulations to Gizmo.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, they've had kind of a mixed bag as far as their individual play, but just executing their strategy perfectly. And when you do that and you have an anti-mage, you're probably going to have a pretty good game and have a victory like they're about to grab here. I'm glad I got to join you for this game, buddy.
You know what's funny? The next game is Gizmo vs. Space Monkey.
Oh, yeah.
Say repeat from Rising Stars qualifier, Butch? Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I mean, both teams looking to just do what they can to keep it all. Okay, here's a little bit of bad manner. Just holding the game there. But overall, a really well played game. The game ends 26-26, but way in the rating advantage. Here is your score screen.
Yeah, once again, if you are just joining us on the tail end, this was J4Y with BDLM, with Dota Talk, also Dota On Demand. You can check out all of our stuff. Heck, if you Google any of those, we'll be on the top. So you'll see us there in our pretty faces. But thanks for joining us. Really do appreciate this. Also, tickets in-game you can buy for Dota TV. If you think my quality is too crappy, well, that sucks for you. But you can actually go to Dota TV, and it's high definition, right? So that's cool.
And you can still listen to us,
that's
which
right.
might be the best part of that.
I think so. But anyways, stay tuned. There might be more games on deck. It might not be me, but we'll see what happens. And we will catch you guys later.